Hi, this is Jeff from GearReport.com, and I got a question about how to use a binding foot on one of the old Singer machines. So I'm not positive this is the right way to do it, but this is how I do it. Alright, first we'll take this standard foot off, set it aside, put this binding foot in place. A couple things to look at here are right here, this little hole is where the needle is going to go through. You notice the whole thing can slide back and forth. So with the whole assembly slid to the left, the needle is going to be out at the very, very edge, may even be off of the fabric. If you slide it all the way to the right, the needle and the line of stitches are going to be far from the edge of the fabric. Usually I end up with it somewhere in the middle. We'll see with this one what we need to use. Alright, the fabric we'll use, this is just a strip of sil nylon cut off the edge of a tarp. And this will be interesting. I've not used this type of grosgrain ribbon before. This is a little heavier and wider. What I'd normally use is about a 1/2 inch or 3/4 inch. This is a 1 inch. So it's going to be tough to make it fit through here. One of the tricks for feeding it into this is to cut a pretty sharp point on it. If we cut it at a little less of an angle, we're not going to be able to feed it all the way through. So starting with it cut here, I'm going to kind of pre-fold a little ways just to give me something to grab onto, and I'm actually going to feed right around this. I wonder if we can zoom in on that a bit. Nope, it's not going to let me zoom. Maybe I can just move it closer. Alright. So around, this is a hollow all the way around the edge. For a much narrower binding or ribbon, you may actually go in through one of the holes on the side. For the wide one like this, we're going to come in from the end and go around the outside edge. It's actually the hardest part of the whole operation, is getting this started. It can be really hard, actually. There we go. Now it's getting fed through. You can see the tip of it sticking out right down here. I'm going to keep pushing it through there so I've got enough that I can grab it. I'm going to use the old seam ripper here to see if I can get a hold of the ribbon enough to get it pulled through where I can get my fingers on it. There we go. I'm just wiggling this back and forth until I can get the whole thing fed in there kind of straight. It wants to bunch up on the way in because this is maybe even wider than it should be for this little attachment. But anyhow, so I'll wiggle it back and forth until I can get it moving in there smoothly.